Well, hello there. Welcome to the show. It is Friday the 7th of November. I hope you had a great Halloween. I hope you had a great bonfire night if you're in the UK. I hope it was a safe one. And here we are. We've come out the other side of that period of festivities, and it's now downhill all the way to Christmas. Never mind. Anyway, we will be here throughout to take you up to that lovely seasonal festival. And of course, we need to start thinking about our Christmas shows and what we're going to do. And we need to start thinking about our Gear of the Year awards. So, yeah, keep those things in mind. Also, while it's literally in my head, because I know what I'm like, if you are looking to buy a ProSynth Network Christmas jumper, you have about 2 weeks to buy one before the deadline finishes for guaranteed delivery before Christmas. So if you want to buy one of our Christmas jumpers, and I'll share the link to that in just a moment, but you've only got a couple of weeks, so get on the case. So just you know, you've been warned. Right, let's go. We've got a great guest for you tonight. We've got lots to talk about. There's news to talk about as well, because we didn't really go into huge amounts of detail with the news last week. So we're catching up on a few things from last week. There's been some interesting things this week, but we do have a very special guest to talk to today. So we're going to be spending at least the first half of the show on that. But before we get into all of that, it's the usual boring stuff. So first of all, please do give us a like, a comment, subscribe and a share. If you haven't already subscribed to us, please do, because that way it's the best way you get notifications and warnings of all the shows, especially in these days of daylight savings time, although we're past all of that now. But it's a good way to make sure that you don't get caught out. And of course, it helps us. So if you can hit that subscribe button, if you haven't already done so, that would be fantastic. Thank you very much. It means the world to us and costs you nothing. If you want to comment during the show or ask a question, you can do so on any of the platforms that you're watching on. We're broadcasting on, of course, YouTube, Facebook Live, and Twitch as well. So whichever platform you're on, you'll be able to talk to us through the chat facilities. If you have a question for any one of us, do give us a big capital Q at the front of that, so that we can pick it out from all the rest of the stuff that's going on in the chat. And if you know somebody who might enjoy the show that doesn't already watch it, then be free to share the link and let them know about what's going on. If you want to support the channel, which we are super grateful for everyone that does, and you do a sterling job, and we are forever grateful, but we are community funded, and the costs are going up as we speak. So every penny does count. If you want to support us in a kind of meaningful way, then you can do that at our Patreon page. So if you just go to prosynthnetwork.com/Patreon, it will take you to the page where you can subscribe for a minimum of $2 a month. And what that gets you is access to a whole bunch of new content that you don't get anywhere else, such as sounds for your synthesizers. So there's patches for hardware synths and software synths. There are decent sampler instruments in there. There's a brand new one coming up very soon, which I'm very excited about. We need to get that up there pretty soon. And there's lots of video content without adverts, snips from shows, so you don't have to wade through to watch those synthspirations, for example. So it's a great way of supporting us, and you can turn it on or off at any time. You can donate more if you wish. You don't have to, but it's every penny is very gratefully received. So that's one way you can support us, and another way is, of course, as I mentioned before, through our merchandise store, prosynthnetwork.com/merch. And that takes you to our store where you can buy all sorts of goodies. I will say we are going to have some sort of Black Friday sale for a few days over that weekend. But unfortunately, the Christmas jumpers won't be in it. Unless, of course, you don't mind getting your Christmas jumpers after Christmas, which kind of defeats the point. But unfortunately, Black Friday falls about a week after the last cut-off date for shipping for Christmas jumpers, or is there or thereabouts. So I would say get your Christmas jumper orders in first, and then if you want to save some money on t-shirts and hoodies and other bits and bobs that we'll put into a special section for Black Friday, and we'll discount a whole bunch of stuff for you there. So that's where you can buy stuff like the t-shirts that we wear with our logos on and so forth. during the week when you're not watching the show or watching other things on catch up, you can of course join us at our Discord, prosynthnetwork.com/Discord, and we're building up a nice little healthy community there of sharing of information and knowledge and interesting music and all that kind of thing. So there's the Discord channel, which you're more than welcome to come and join us over there. If you just click on that link, it will take you through to the Discord channel, and make sure you sign up for a free Discord account. You'll be all sorted out. Of course, we are over or across, should I say, all of these social media channels as well. Facebook is the place where we tend to congregate more than anything else. But you can follow us on all of those bits over there. Right, I do believe that is everything in terms of housekeeping. As I said, we've got a brilliant guest for you this week. A very interesting gentleman who is behind a couple of really, really good synthesizers. Has burst onto the market in the last year or two. And has blown some people away. So much so that his second synthesizer is currently being nominated for the best synth of 2026 by Sound on Sound magazine. And if you've got one of these and you've experienced it, then I heartily recommend that you vote for it. But we will come back to that in just a moment. Before we do, let's bring in my co-hosts for the day. Kent hasn't arrived yet. I don't know where he is. He might have fallen asleep. He might be still, wolfing his tea down. But I'm sure he'll join us at some point. He hasn't said otherwise. So let's bring in, of course, our first co-host is Mr. Andrew Longhurst. Good evening.
Yay. Good evening. How are you?
I'm very well. Yourself?
Yeah, not bad. Not bad. It's been a bit of a week, really. We've a lot of us have struggled with work this last year, with work not coming in if you're freelance, or reduced volumes of work coming in, which has been a bit of a struggle. But it's just started picking up, which has been good, and lots of sound design going on at the moment, which has been really, really good fun. It's really good to just come in here at whatever twat o'clock, and do some sound design. And then I went to the doctors because I've been not feeling great, and bugger me, I've lost 10 kilos in the last 2 months. Yeah, my doctor said, well, I think probably you should just slow down a little. just slow down a little. So that's what I'm going to do. And lastly, I've managed to sort out all my driver problems, so I've finally got Loop back working. Thank you to all of you for your advice. So, yeah, it's been a good week. Been a very good week.
Good stuff. I was at the doctor's today. I had a blood test or blood sample, and look, hardly any bruise, which is good.
Yeah,
because normally they butcher me when they stick it in there because they can't find a vein, which is a struggle. But there we go. Good to hear. I also had to give my weight over, and I thought I'd lost a bit. Unfortunately, it was exactly the same as I was the last time I reported my weight. At least I hadn't gone up, which was the good thing. Anyway, good to see you, and thanks ever so much for joining. And of course, the other chuckle that you heard in the background there is our good friend of Scott McAuley Sounds. Guess what his name is? Scott McAuley.
Yay! Evening all.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. Yeah, much the same as Andrew with me. It's been a bit of a sound design week for me this week again. Funnily enough, working on this Breeze 6 because Guido was very generous to get me one sent up on loan to try it out, and I can understand why Sound on Sound have voted it for one of the best synths of this year. So yeah, very, very good. But we'll discuss that later. But yeah, apart from that, I've had a little bit of MPE fun.
I know. I just saw you got the
another one. Another one.
What do you think?
I love it. Yeah, I really do like that. I find that one a little bit more natural than the Rolly Seaboard. It just feels, I think because it's more tactile keys rather than the sort of the membrane kind of thing, the gel. Yeah, it just feels more natural to me. But yeah.
Takes some
and I also downloaded in the Black Friday sales today. I got myself pigments from Arturia and upgraded to 11 as well. So I've just been having some MPE fun with pigments just before I came in there. I was like, oh, I could have some fun with that. Yeah,
that's a good synth. Absolutely,
very good.
Excellent. Talking of MPE, one thing that I forgot to mention is we have a brand new moderator in the chat, and it is our resident MPE expert. Steve Elbows is our new moderator, so give him a big round of applause. He's just joined the team. And thank you for your forthcoming service. keeping the horrible chatties in line. No, they're not horrible at all. There's very little work to do, but it's always nice to know that there's somebody there. I know that Andrew's been busy. Both Andys have been quite busy, and I've not seen hide nor hair of Ben from Musings at all. So I have no idea if anybody knows Ben, personally. That would be it would be nice to know if he's okay. That's all.
Yeah.
He's not. None of our moderators are compelled to be here. They offer their services, and we accept them into the fold for doing so. But thank you and welcome to Steve Elbows as our newest moderator in the gang. Right, okay. So Kent's still not here. He must have fallen asleep, or as somebody said in the chat, he's stuck under the bonnet of his Mustang. So we'll bring him in if he turns up later on. But it's now time to bring in our guest for the week. And I've been looking forward to meeting this gentleman for some time. Unfortunately, things occurred at Superbooth that meant we couldn't connect there. So we're definitely going to make amends next year. But in the meantime, we've got him on the show. We've got Scotty to thank for this, because Scott's been doing a plenty of work with this gentleman. And his two synthesizers, the E7 and now the Bree 6, have taken the synthesizer world by storm. Not just because I think they're probably the first synthesizers to come out of Argentina, and I'm sure that our guest will tell us if that's true or not, but also because they're damn good synthesizers. They sound amazing. If you want to know what one of them sounds like, let's just refresh your memories. This is a little clip of the E7. I don't know about you, but that sounds amazing. That's a video from our very own Scott McAuley. I do hope Scott McAuley Sounds YouTube channel isn't going to stick in a copyright claim on there.
No, I won't do that.
I wouldn't blame you. Sometimes it's automatic, so better check. Better check. I'll let you know if something comes through. That was, of course, Scott doing some sounds he's done for the E7. Nice B-roll footage, by the way, I have to say. Was that all handheld, or was that a motorized
No, I've
thing?
got like a dolly. It's like a motorized dolly that hangs over the top of the synths. It's basically like two carbon fiber tracks with basically it holds the camera, and then it takes a big, huge battery, and you just basically set it with your phone, A and B, and how fast you want it to go.
Nice.
Yeah, it takes a little bit of setting up, but it does. The footage you get from it is fantastic.
Yeah.
It's very different from anything else that you really see on YouTube.
Absolutely.
So
I've got to do some B-roll stuff of some synths I've got here that are coming out later this month. And I haven't got anything like that, so I've got a gimbal. I shall just be slowly moving across.
The gimbals are hard. It's very, very hard to do. I've tried it, and I just gave up the ghost.
Yeah. Well, maybe one day we'll set something up here with professional stuff like you. That would be good. Anyway, enough of this. Let's get to talking to the gentleman behind that amazing sounding synth. All the way from Argentina. It is, ladies and gentlemen, Gido Sallaya. Yeah. Give it up.
Hello, Robbie. Well, good evening or good afternoon.
Yeah.
This time of the world.
Yeah. How are you? Whereabouts are you in Argentina? Are you near the capital, or?
Yes, I'm in the capital city in Buenos Aires.
Nice. And is everything good over there today? Is it all?
Yeah, everything is good. It is rainy today.
Okay.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's that time.
Good.
It's that time of year, isn't it? So, is this your workshop?
Yes, this is my workshop. This is where I do all kind of stuff like designing scenes and testing and all that kind of
Cool.
stuff. I
Excellent
have
stuff.
the keyboard
Brilliant.
version of the Bri6 here.
Oh, very nice.
Oh,
Yeah.
Very
nice.
nice. So we'll talk to you about your instruments a little bit later on, but first of all, I just want to get an understanding of your history of how you came to where you are now. So, have you always been into electronic music and synthesizers, or did you come to this from a more technical perspective as a designer and a developer?
Well, it was kind of simultaneous because I started playing keyboards and piano when I was around maybe 15 years old or so. And almost at the same time, I started learning about electronics. And then I started studying electronic engineering. While I was always playing some music.
Yeah.
Uh, I'm coming more from progressive rock than
Okay.
electronic music. In fact, I used to have a Genesis tribute band, but I kind of listened to music like Rick Wakeman, Emerson, Lake and Palmer, Genesis, Camel. That's how I got more into synthesizers. And since I was studying electronics, and because synthesizers were very expensive, especially in Argentina, you usually have double or three times the price you would find in the UK or
Wow.
USA. So yeah, they are very expensive here. So I had some digital synthesizers, but I was not able to buy an analog synth. So I decided to make my own synth. I thought it would be cheaper. It was not, because because considering all the trial and error and
Yeah.
all the time, it was not cheaper. But
Yeah.
I learned a lot by doing that. In fact, I started making some MIDI controllers. I had a band and we didn't have a bass player, so I converted some bass pedals from an old organ to a MIDI controller. That was probably my first music project, or musical instrument project. And then I decided to make an analog synth. It was not easy because you learn a lot about electronics in the university, but then the reality is different, especially in synthesizers. You have a lot of nonlinear circuits, a lot of circuits that are a lot different than what you study. So I slowly started doing some research, and and finally got to finally understand how a synthesizer works and how it's implemented. I read a lot from. There's a series on Sound called Synth Secrets.
Yes.
I learned a lot from that, how monophonic synth works, how string machines worked, how all the effects works, like chorus or delay. So that was kind of the theory, and then I started getting more and more knowledge about electronics. So I started making some implementation of that. So I started making some monophonic synthesizer prototype. I made one. It works. It still works. It's still here. That was like maybe 10 years ago or a little more. And then I started. That prototype was working, It is still working, but it was very difficult if we wanted to make more units to sell, because it had a lot of cables inside, a lot of soldering, a lot of manual work. So I started working on something that could be manufactured like in series, so we could sell that. And by that time, my girlfriend joined me and started helping me with especially with the assembly of the synthesizers. And well, with the monophonic synths, I guess people like the sound, but commercially it was not very successful. We sold very few units. We sold like 20 units in 2 years.
Right.
So that was not very, that was not a lot for a company if we wanted to live from synthesizers.
Yeah.
And at some point we made a polyphonic synth, a prototype that was called Zeus, that had a keyboard. That keyboard was obtained from an old organ that didn't work anymore. That's a long story, but well, that prototype got a lot of attention all over the world. So by looking at that, I knew that there was interest in analog polyphonic synthesizers. So that's how we decided to make the E7. The E7, it's like an evolution of the Zeus. It may look like it is smaller, and in fact it is smaller, but it has more features than the Zeus. And well, we were right. There was interest in an analog polyphonic synth.
Yeah.
I think the monophonic synthesizers was the market was saturated, and that was not the case with the polyphonic synths. So yeah, and that's how we made the E7.
Yeah.
We started very slowly. We released 10 units for pre-order. We sold them, all of them, on the first day.
Wow.
So yeah.
That's better than 20 in 2 years, isn't it? So
yeah. So for some time we kept making the E7 and the monophonic synthesizers. And at some point we sold a lot more polyphonic synths than monophonic synths, and yeah, we got more profit from polyphonic synths. So at some point we discontinued the monophonic synths. And we slowly started growing. We started working with some YouTubers that made some videos that worked very well. Then yeah, we started growing. We started working with some dealers all over the world. And then we started working on the Bri6 because I wanted to make a more simple synthesizer to cover that market of a more portable and simple synthesizer, and a little bit more affordable as well. So that's how I made the Bri6.
Yeah, and that kind of brings us up to date, doesn't it, with where you are at the moment. Just so people are aware, you referenced Synth Secrets, which was, of course, this legendary series by Gordon Reed in Sound on Sound magazine, and you can find that to this day. It's still on the Sound on Sound website. It's quite a legendary piece. If you're just getting into synthesizers, this will tell you everything. It's in old-fashioned words and on a piece of or on a computer screen. It's not one of these fancy videos. But if you've got the time, there's not a lot that Gordon doesn't know about this stuff. And of course,
there's
if
a
it's
great
reference piece.
Yeah, it's
really,
a wealth
really
of knowledge in there. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's some great sampling stuff in there as well from Steve Howell from many years ago. So if you're looking, it's a brilliant resource. And of course, Sound on Sound have just celebrated their 40th anniversary, which is I remember buying, not episode 1, issue 1. I remember buying issue 1 with Midge on the front and his was it the emulator, wasn't it? In E2 on the front of the magazine. Anyway, a little diversion there, but Sound on Sound. I'll tell you what I'll do. I will post that link into the chat. There we go. If you want to go and visit that page, it's highly recommended. Highly recommended. So, correct me if I'm wrong. Was I right when I said that you are Argentina's only synthesizer manufacturer, to the best of your knowledge?
There are other analog synthesizer manufacturers, but we are the only analog polyphonic synthesizer manufacturers.
So, because I guess, and I don't mean this in any, I don't mean to be rude in any way. Argentina is not commonly known as being, a hive of electronic music. And you said you came more from a prog background, and that I understand because South America is really very, prog rock, big prog rock fans over there. Is there a big electronic music scene in Argentina locally in the cities or outside of the cities?
There is an electronic music scene here. Probably not as big as you would find in maybe Germany. Or, probably it is smaller than in other countries. But especially manufacturing electronic devices. It is small.
Because I guess that must have been a real challenge for you as an Argentinian company to know that your market is going to have to be global. That's quite a daunting prospect. You're a new company on the scene, and that scene is generally taking place in bulk. In America, in Europe, and stuff. So, I mean, hats off to you for having the how do you say, the balls to do that. It's quite a brave move, isn't it? Did you feel that when you were developing this? Did you feel that maybe this might all go wrong because you're having to deal with an international market and all of the complexities of imports and exports and taxes and tariffs and all of that kind of thing,
and shipping, shipping.
Absolutely. Was that daunting?
Yes, I think absolutely. Everything you want to do here in Argentina is more difficult than anywhere else. When I speak at any conference, like I did at Music Expo San Francisco or wherever, I dedicate a slide to the challenges of doing something in Argentina. We have a lot of taxes, difficulties in importing, exporting, and another thing that we have is that the regulations are constantly changing.
Right.
So it's not only difficult, but it's difficult and changing every time. People usually say that we are crazy about doing this, and I think they are right.
Well, listen, I mean, hats off to you for doing this because. First of all, you've made some great things, but second of all, you've been successful at doing it, and so we must heap a huge amount of praise onto you and is it Anna for doing the work that you do. I mean, it's just great to see, and hats off to you. We've got some questions. I'm just going to skip to a couple of those before we bring in some other questions from our panel. Let's see. So one here from I Sing the Body Electric. I still hope that GS are going to one day resurrect the Zeus synth that they prototyped. Is there any chance of maybe bringing that prototype into reality, or is the E7 the natural kind of development of that?
It will, if we do it, it will not be the next project. But this is like when you make music, you start making a new song when you didn't finish the last song you were working on.
Yeah.
So I already started working on the design of the next synthesizer.
Oh, cool.
It will be, in terms of features, it will have more features than the CUs. It will have a 5-octave keyboard, probably with polyphonic aftertouch. And a lot of stuff, including something that a lot of people asked, that is frequency modulation.
Nice. Yeah. That sounds very exciting.
And something, this is the first time I talk about this, but I'm developing a frequency modulation that is an exponential frequency modulation that doesn't detune the oscillator. So I'm working on that. I have the theory, and I have to do some experiments with that, but it is mathematically possible.
Excellent. That sounds very exciting. So you heard it here first, folks.
Yeah.
So remember that. Nick Howes wants to know, what synths did you use to inspire your development? What were the inspirations in terms of the instruments that inspired you?
Well, there's some inspiration on the Moog filter. In fact, I use the core of the Moog filter. And there was some inspiration on synths from sequential as well. But I tried not to look too much into other synths because I wanted to do something different.
What's your favorite synthesizer? If you could have to pick one to take onto a desert island, what would your favorite synthesizer be?
Well, that's a tough question because I actually don't have any analog synths other than the GS Music.
Oh, okay.
Because as I said, I started because buying an analog synth was too expensive.
Yeah.
And then as I started developing the synths, I would rather spend the money in more equipment like an oscilloscope or something like that than buying another synth. So if I had to choose a synth, I don't know, it would be by the specs only, but not because I own one. So
sure.
I don't know what to say about it.
You are allowed to say your own synthesizer. You can say the E7 if that's
okay. Okay, and the E7.
Because we could understand why, because it is a very, very good synthesizer.
It is. Very nice.
One more quick question from the audience, and of course, everybody that's watching, if you want to ask a question, please stick it into the chat and preface it with a big capital Q. Amanda, who wants to know, is there any possibility of resurrecting the mono synths?
I don't think we would do that in the short term because of the reasons I just explained. Sales were not very good. I think there is a lot of competition, and the answer is no, unless we come up with some innovative idea for a monophonic synth.
Yeah, because like you say, there are a lot of mono analog synths out there.
Yes.
A lot. I mean, I've gathered over the last few years, I've managed to hoover up about half a dozen analog monophonic synths, but only a couple of polys. So yeah, we're glad that you're doing what you're doing and where you're doing it. So that's cool. Gentlemen, Scott. Obviously, Scott, you've been designing sounds for both of these instruments, the E7 and that. Have you got any questions for Guido or anything that you want to throw into the discussion at all?
Well, I know it was funny you mentioned the Genesis thing, because I'd noticed online that you'd done some Genesis music up on YouTube and things, and you're quite a proficient piano player as well. So did you learn professionally? Did you get taught, or is it self-learned, your your piano side of things, because you're a very good piano player.
Oh, well, thank you very much. It's a mix. I went to the conservatory. I don't know if you say like that in English.
Yeah.
Okay. I went to the conservatory, but only for a few months because, there were issues. We didn't have we had a piano teacher for like 20 people, so that was not very good. So I think I did maybe 3 or 6 months, but I learned some of the proper technique there. Then I took some lessons, some private lessons. In fact, one of them, my teachers from many years ago, designed some of the sounds of the Bri6.
Okay, very good.
By that time, I told him that I wanted to make a MIDI controller like a bass pedals as MIDI controllers. He now tells me that he thought or either I was crazy or I was a genius.
I think there's a fine line between them both, isn't there?
Yeah.
But the other question I've got is, you were speaking about this first synth, your prototype that you first started to try to make for yourself that ended up not being so cheap as you expected it to be. How much of that development from your original synth made it into the E7? Was there much of it made it in, or did you start completely from scratch and the E7 was basically built from the ground back up again?
There is some of the concepts are the same, but I made a lot of improvements in the circuit from that first prototype. In fact, the first prototype had DCOs, digitally controlled oscillators, and now all of our synths have voltage control oscillators, and that was that was a big improvement because voltage control oscillators had some tuning stability issues. There are different techniques to avoid that. One of them is having a Temco resistor. That Temco resistor is difficult to get here in Argentina. And another one is heating an IC to keep the temperature constant. I didn't like that solution, so I finally decided to make my own temperature compensation, which finally worked very well.
Yeah, it's very stable. Yeah, they're very stable.
Yeah. So, that's an example of how some issue or some disadvantage was turned into an advantage, because the issue was that it was difficult to get a Temco resistor here in Argentina. So, because it was too difficult, I decided to start thinking about how I could overcome that. And then I came with some circuit that solved that without any special components, just transistors and resistor capacitors.
So,
sorry.
No, go ahead, Scott, please.
The one that surprised me with both the E7 and the Bri6 is how quickly they tune. Like every other synth, analog-wise, which is most of them in my studio, they all have a sort of tuning function they go through, but yours is like 2 seconds at the most and it's tuned. It's just done. It's so quick. It's very good and very stable. But I was just wondering how you have managed to get them to tune so much quicker than everyone else.
Well,
or can you not say? Maybe you can't tell us.
I can. What I cannot tell you is what other do for that, because I didn't do any research about what other companies were doing.
Yeah.
I just started from scratch, thinking about how I could do an auto-tune algorithm. On the E7, it is just starts looking for some frequencies. It has, I think it has 5 or 6 tuning points. So it starts putting some value on the VCO, and then starts increasing or decreasing that value until it reaches the frequency. I think maybe the secret for doing it that so quickly is that the increase or decrease is proportional to the frequency deviation. So if you are looking for, let's say, 200 hertz and you are at 201 hertz, then you would decrease the VCO value just a little bit. But if your actual frequency is 300 hertz, you would decrease a lot more the voltage. That's how it's done on the E7. And for the V6, I made that different because I put different values on the VCOs, on the voltage, and measure the frequency. And then with that, you can get the frequency versus voltage function. And then what I use is I calculate the inverse function of that. So you don't need to do any iterations.
Very, very fast. Very impressive.
Clever, yeah.
And that's what I just noticed that that Anna Paula has just said it's actually faster than some Formula One pit stops.
Yes,
very true. Very true. Because we're talking about chips, we actually had a couple of questions. One from Eric Frampton, another one from Dead Man Walking in the chat. They're wanting to know about the chips that you use. Did you go with SSI chips, or did you go with discrete chips in terms of the oscillators and so on?
No, I'm only using all general purpose components like operational amplifiers, discrete transistors, transconductance operational amplifiers. So there are no specialized chips in our synths.
Okay, cool. And is that purely because of availability in Argentina, or was that a design choice?
That was it was because of availability in Argentina and all over the world. Now I got in touch with the people from Sound Semiconductor, so we might start using some of their chips for future products.
Cool.
But I still think we will keep the same oscillators and filter.
Do not change those oscillators. Do not change them.
Well, it's funny. Yeah, it's funny you say that because James in the chat says, "Why do the oscillators sound good, or sound so good on the E7? They're some of the best." He says. Is there a particular? Was it just a choice that you made on those, or is there some secret sauce?
I'm not sure because from an engineering perspective, I'm an engineer and a musician as well. From an engineering perspective, you would try to make the oscillators as perfect as possible. From a musical perspective, if they are too perfect, they wouldn't sound natural. They wouldn't sound good. So from an engineering perspective, I cannot tell why they sound good.
They just
there is some, the VCO's voltage is generated by a digital to analog converter because the control is digital. And the resolution of that digital to analog converter is a little bit above the what you call the minimum. I don't remember the term right now, but the minimum frequency difference that a human can distinguish. So maybe that creates some randomness in frequency, some very small randomness that can make it sound more natural while not sound out of tune.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they do sound amazing. Scott was playing some stuff for us a few weeks back, and it really is a lovely, lovely sounding thing.
Yeah, I think I said to Guido myself that it's probably the closest to an Oberheim kind of sizzle. Like the interaction between the oscillators is so close to that Oberheim sizzle that you get without the SEM being involved, obviously. But whatever you've done, it's worked an absolute treat. Yeah, it really has.
Yeah, absolutely. Andrew, you got any questions or thoughts you want to throw in the mix?
Oh, just about 100.
Go on, then. Do one or two.
Do one or two.
Because Kent's not coming. By the way, Kent is unable to come in because he bought a new NAS yesterday and he's still configuring it, and apparently it's sucking all his bandwidth away. So, hi Kent, and hope that gets sorted soon. Anyway, Andrew, over to you.
Sorry about that, Kent. I've got a NAS for you. I just haven't got it there. But anyway, so Guido, coming from an engineering thing, and also on Kent's behalf, there's a couple of things I'd like to know. The control voltages you use through the synth, are you running at 5 volts, 10 volts, 15, 12? What's the control voltages you're using for the oscillators, being as it's discrete circuitry?
I think in the E7 it's 5 voltage, and on the R6 it is 3.3. That is not very relevant because then that control voltage goes to an exponential converter that uses a very, very small voltage, like a few millivolts. So that voltage, 3.3 or 5, it's attenuated to a few millivolts anyway.
So the voltage used to run the discrete circuitry is the 5 volts or the 3.3, and then the control voltage is millivolts, just used to send control signals to it to tell it what pitch to be running at, etc. Is that right?
Yes. And that millivolt range depends on the bipolar transistor physics. So it is that way in almost any analog synthesizer.
So my question from following on from that, I've got a synth that came out back in, I don't know, around about 2000, called the DS Tech Original Syn. Now that's a 3 oscillator analog synth under digital control, so it's very stable, but there are times with it where it just feels a little too it's huge sound, but it sounds a little too controlled. It just feels like it's a little too constrained, like the control voltages, the digital control that's being applied doesn't have a high resolution. And I guess the question is, for most other synth manufacturers doing analog, they've got a history that they're going to be relying upon. They'll have a history of circuit design and things they've done in the past that informs what they do now. What I find spectacularly wonderful about what you're doing, Guido, is that you've just done it. You haven't had a history of making lots of other synths. You've just said, I'm going to do this. And it seems like with each model, you just look at all of the problems that are there and say, well, I'm just going to invent something else. The fact that you didn't look at other people's solutions for temperature control tells me you're a man that likes to come up with their own solutions. How important is it to you to do that, to find, to explore and find your own solutions? Because it's clearly making a really big difference to the sound of these things.
Well, I think it's very important, but I think it's the way I work. I work with many engineers, and they are very good. In fact, I think many of them are much better than I am as an engineer. And some of us, like, for example, when I have a problem, I prefer to start from scratch, to just pick a blank piece of paper and start thinking about some idea that comes up. And other people start looking at some papers, some ideas from other people.
I think that's what fascinates me, Guido. The fact that you have deliberately decided to ignore everything else and just go, well, I don't know, let's just have a look at this problem and start from scratch. Why? I mean, it's genius. I think it works really well. I was having a conversation with some other people about this kind of thing in video as well, how people develop things in video. You're doing something which is quite unique. You are really starting from scratch. Why is that important to you? What is it about that makes you have to do that? I think it's great, but why?
I think if you start by looking at other people's ideas, then it is very difficult to think about something new because you are biased toward that idea. It's similar. I think it's similar to what happens in music. If you listen to some music, at some point, maybe you start like composing some music, but you're repeating the same music that you listen to. So that's why I think it's important. It allows you to come up with new ideas.
And my last question is, you mentioned that you got into this because you had a love for prog music, for Rick Wakeman, perhaps Patrick Moraz, who did a lot of work in Brazil, Keith Emerson. Those styles of music are all about control and articulation. The reason they sound so good is because of the way they made the sounds feel organic. Their lead solos and the way they were playing made it feel like real instruments, like acoustic instrument levels of control almost. That seems to be something which you've put into all of these synths. How carefully have you thought about the modulation and articulations that you have in these synths? Because that seems to be a really powerful driver for people like Scott, who's doing some of these sounds for you.
Well, I paid a lot of attention to that because I also like acoustic instruments. I love playing piano, for example, and I love how in a piano you have some notes with 2 strings and some notes with 3 strings that they are slightly out of tune, creating that, well, the actual piano sound. And I was very careful about the response of the knobs because, for example, an LFO can go from 0.1 hertz, at least in the V6, to 100 hertz, but the response is not linear because otherwise you would turn the knob a little bit and you would be already at maybe 10 hertz. Yeah. So that response is, I think I played with just quadratic or cubic formulas. I did some trial and error for that.
Until it felt right.
Yes. And because I also play synthesizer, I tried until I found it was reasonable.
Cool stuff. You might be wondering where you can get hold of the GS Music synthesizer. Of course, you can go and visit the website. When you do, you'll be presented with this little pop-up. It says here, click here to vote for the first Argentine analog synth to win Best Synthesizer Award at the SOS magazine. So if you have, I mean, I would normally encourage people to vote for something they may not have used, but if you really enjoy what Guido is doing, and if you listen to some of those demos, then please do go and vote there. But the website is here. It's very simply found at gsmusic.com. There's a whole bunch of information here, and you can find a dealer in your region. The synth store is here, and you can see their wares. There's a wonderful pink E7 here for $17.99. The Brie6 there in the black for $9.99. The blue version there, and of course the standard blue E7 is there, and there are black versions as well, black and red. Lots of different varieties there, which is nice to see.
Blue
so
and white,
your own kind
obviously the best. Blue,
the what one?
The blue and white.
The blue and white. Yeah, well, I bet if they did a green and white one, you wouldn't be so happy.
Well, no, that's true. I believe, am I right in thinking, Guido, that the pink one that you've got there, is that not something to do with cancer awareness, or did you do something to do with...
Yes, in fact, that was my wife's idea.
Okay.
So we did 10 pink synthesizers. So 4 of them we will be donating the profit to a hospital that treats cancer, and one of them. We are selling some T-shirts in Argentina, and we will do. How do you say? We will amongst the people that bought the T-shirts, there will be a winner that will win.
Okay.
Okay. Very good. Very good.
And we will be donating the profit from the T-shirt sales as well.
Excellent.
Brilliant.
Well done.
Well done.
Yeah.
Well done.
Can I make an observation, Guido, which is a bit of an odd one? We often refer back to some of the greats on this show, people like Bob Moog, Alan Perlman, Tom Oberheim, Dave Smith, Dave Rossum, all of these guys that started this whole revolution in electronic music way back when, starting absolutely from scratch. There wasn't a template, there wasn't a history of synth design when they all started, and they kind of made it up as they went along. I've got to say, you really remind me of them. You're starting from a blank slate, and you're just designing the instruments you want, having been a musician already. I think it's brilliant. I think it's absolutely brilliant. I really do.
Yeah, it's great to see.
Thank you very much.
Just looking through the website here, Matt Johnson. I mean, that's a name. If you can get a name to associate with your instruments, Matt's the guy. He's a lovely bloke. Just started touring. I think he was in Barcelona last night with Jamiroquai and their new tour.
I just missed them. Just missed them.
Just missed them, indeed. I was going to say here, look at this, Scott. The Expressive E and the GS E7. Have you hooked those two up yet?
I have with the Brie6, not with the E7 yet, because the Brie6 has got the centre stage in here at the moment. As far as, but yeah, the Brie6, it sounds great. Yeah, it's very easy to set up. Very easy. You just basically go into the MIDI settings and switch on MPE, and away it goes. So yeah, it's good. And I've tried it with the Rolly as well. With the Rolly, it's good as well. So yeah.
Oh, excellent. So your sounds for the E7, they're available on your website, right?
Yes.
Oh, there it is. I've just brought it up. There it is. There you go. There's the demo. And if you go to the patch banks on Scott McAuley sound, there it is, septenary, for E7, $25.99. Might as well give your sounds a plug as well. Loads of great sounds in there. Loads of great stuff, particularly the Polybrute ones. I'm still waiting for Volume 3 because I'm greedy like that. I'm greedy. I like those sounds. But no, I mean you've done some incredible work on the E7, and it's definitely sold me on one of those.
I actually need to send them to Guido because I've not sent them to him yet. I'll send you the bank through Guido, and you can get it connected into one of your E7s and have a play around with them.
Yeah.
Okay.
They are
good.
They are
Thank
good,
you.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So we've just gone past the first hour. I think we'll give Guido a little bit of a rest. He's been doing a lot of talking. It's been super interesting stuff.
Yeah.
And we'll come back and maybe ask a few more questions. But why don't we have a look at what's been going on in the world of synthesizers in general? Before we do, just want to say a big welcome to Dominic Caffarelli for becoming a YouTube channel member. That means that you will get all the freebie stuff as you would on the Patreon page as well. And you get all the exclusive videos and exclusive instrument patches and so on and so forth. And Nick has done another solid. He's gifted another ProSynth Network membership. So whoever gets hold of that, enjoy it, make the most of it. It's worth it. And thank you very much indeed for your donations. Super Nick. Generous. Also, we must say he is in the chat, but the legend that is President Richard Hilton, keyboard player extraordinaire with the amazing Chic organisation. It's his birthday tomorrow. He's only 24 years old. He would have been 25, but he was sick a year. So happy birthday, Richard. You are a legend. You have a very exclusive ProSynth Network shirt, which I've still not seen a picture of you wearing. I'm not offended at all. I had that specially made in gold. But yeah, Richard Hilton's a great supporter of ours. We're a great supporter of his. We love his work. Hope he likes ours too. And look forward to catching up with you soon, sir. But happy birthday for tomorrow from everyone here. And enjoy your day. I hope it's a good one.
Yeah,
right, let's have a look at what has been going on in the world of synthesizers in the last... Well, it's kind of been going the last couple of weeks because we didn't really cover a huge amount. This isn't so much a breaking news story as it is. It's been long and drawn out, but we finally got to see what Teenage Engineering have been up to. They've been teasing us with this supposedly reggae tinged EP machine, which is following on from the Medieval and from the KO before it. I'm kind of worried about playing the promo because I imagine it's probably somebody else's music and I'll probably get a copyright strike. So I might just skip that. But you can go to the Teenage Engineering YouTube page and find out all about the EP40, otherwise known as the Rhythm. And this is their new kind of giant calculator style instrument, which launched this week. And it is dedicated and inspired by the music of Jamaica and reggae and dub and all of those kind of variations. Yeah, dancehall, all of those kind of variations and styles of the Caribbean sound. And I saw this, I thought this will be one that interests me very much. And when I heard the demos, it really sounds like a lot of fun. You can buy this as a kit. So you get the EP40 unit, which is the machine itself. And this time it actually features a synthesizer. It's not just sample based. So there is a synth inside this as well. But you can also get this package where it comes with the Ting, which is this kind of little microphone effects unit where you can fire off different effects, but also you can sing or rap or do what you want into the microphone, and it's affected by the effects there. This is Teenage Engineering stuff. Lots of people love it. Lots of people hate it. There is this kind of weird kind of thing that surrounds it. I just think this is rather good. I think it's about £300 for the kit of getting both of these. Or I think you can buy the EP40 on its own. But I think that the Ting represents so much fun that I think it warrants being bought as a pack. There was also a mixer that they teased as well, that they were showing sitting in between two of these. So that hasn't come out just yet, but I'm sure that's around the corner. I mean, look, this is another portable, fun, very specific, genre-specific instrument. Scott, have you got any thoughts on this? Do you have a thing about reggae and dub and dancehall?
I love reggae and dub, but these sort of small box units aren't really for me. It's just not my thing, It's just not something. I see where they're popular because there's a big market for them. It's just not really. It's not really for me. I'd prefer to just get my fingers on keys and away we go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But I
so
think for that kind of
sounds
instant
great.
gratification, yeah, I mean, it does sound
Yeah,
really,
sounds
really
amazing.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they've worked with a whole bunch of artists within that genre from the community. There was a lot of work and research put into this with the community, and also there, I have to say, we can't sort of ignore the elephant in the room. The reception has been a little odd, shall we say, because obviously teenage engineering got a reputation of building very expensive gear that maybe people would question why you would spend that amount of money on something that is clearly a design piece, maybe more than a functional piece. But these are very affordable. But there has been sort of accusations of cultural appropriation thrown at this, and I don't get it. There was a comment on one of the posts we had on Gear News where it was funny because he said, don't the Japanese love cultural appropriation, forgetting that teenage engineering are actually Swedish. And there's a large Caribbean community in Sweden. But it just goes to show the logic that some of these people have. It's odd. And of course, the other unfortunate thing was there was the hurricane, Melissa, that ripped through and caused so much damage in Haiti and in Jamaica and further and beyond. Was it Guatemala, I think, as well, suffered some damage. And this was just an unfortunate thing. They couldn't. Teenage Engineering have been promoting this for a long while beforehand, but they are donating significant amounts of money to relief funds in Jamaica. So, they're not tone deaf to the whole thing. But it's an odd take to have on something that is popularizing and making available, what is a fantastic genre of music.
I've got a very good opinion on this. I worked for many years in the dance hall stroke reggae scene, working with all sorts of acts, everyone from Maxi Priest, King Sounds, Yellowman, a whole bunch of people. And I've got to tell you, the musicians that were in all those bands and from that community would love this. And I can tell you also that the sounds of this thing, including the microphone, which is, some would say, is a really shitty little mic, it's the sound. It's the sound. It works. And all of these things work together. So as far as the sounds go and what it does, they've nailed this. As for it being cultural appropriation, nonsense. It's nonsense. Reggae is a style of music, and all that sound has spread, as did rock and roll, as has jazz, as has classical, as has samba. All of these different styles of music have spread. That's part of why this is good. So that's nonsense. And lastly, the what about donating to Jamaica? I didn't know they had. I'm really pleased to hear that. But that's not, why haven't Universal Music, unless they have, that own Island Records now? Let's not go there with it. This is a really good synth. I think they've done due diligence. They've got some great people involved from this community. They're now doing something to help as well when they don't have to, but they are doing something to help. And I got to say, this time, TE get a lot of flack for all sorts of things. If you don't like it, don't buy it. But this time, they've done a really good thing. This is a great instrument. Love it.
Yeah. I mean, you didn't hear the medieval community getting up in arms when they did the medieval, did you?
King Henry didn't walk down the road going, down with tea.
You didn't have people with coconuts. Did you coming down the road? Sorry, Monty Python reference. What do you think about these, Guido? Do you think these are fun little instruments to play with? Is this your sort of thing?
It is not something I would use, but it has my admiration when people do these kind of things. I mean, it is easy to think that in 2025 everything has been invented, and then you see these instruments that from out of nowhere they come with a new idea or that is totally different than the classic approach. So yeah, I like that. It is maybe not something I would use because maybe I'm too classic, but I like that kind of innovation.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite a ballsy move, because these instruments are being very focused. Like, the medieval version, we all laughed at it, but so many people have bought it because, as you say, it's unique and nobody else is doing it, and it's affordable and it's fun. And at the end of the day, if we're not having fun with all of this stuff, we get too serious and bogged down in all the other stuff, then what's the point,
And no one seems to raise an eyebrow, even a scintilla of about the various different sound libraries that are out there that have for years been sampling Balkan music, various different African, Asian styles, Balinese. And no one's worried about that. No one said anything about that. So, music is there, and the instruments are there to allow us all to create in the style of, if that's what we wish to do. It's a good thing. It's a good thing.
Now, this one, as Amanda says in the chat, this one has kind of made me go, "Ooh, I might like one of these," because the medieval one almost tipped me over the edge. But I have a real big soft spot for reggae, particularly dub. There's something very, of all the UB40 albums, the first 4 were their best, but the Present Arms in dub was probably one of my favourite, because it's just, I love that whole sound. Certainly early 80s British reggae, was into that. So I'm very much looking forward to having a play with this. Some great comments coming in the chat, by the way. Keep the humour going. We enjoy this stuff. I mentioned about the medieval community not getting upset. Ken says, "Don't speak for us, Robbie." Okay. Apparently they were very much upset and even refused to clean our stables for a full week. Good to see you in here, Ken. I will be in touch soon, mate. We need to talk about certain things. Gare says in the chat, was that a European or an African swallow? Maintaining the Python references in there. And our very good friend James Dyson. Are these the same people who moaned about the medieval being a gateway to chopping people's heads off? It's a fair point that he makes. It's a fair point. I need to say massive thank you to Fer Parisi. Now, you're going to have to excuse my ignorance. 5,000, whatever that is, 5,000 sounds very impressive. I don't know what ARS is. Does anybody know what currency
it's,
ARS?
Argentine pesos.
Oh, there you go. Well, thank you very much indeed. Is that fair? Do I pronounce that correct? Is it fair or fur? I'm not sure. But I apologise if I've pronounced that incorrectly, but thank you so much for your generosity. That is incredible. Thank you very much indeed for that. Keep the comments coming. Dr. Synth, who is our resident FM physical modelling genius level expert on all things, he says, for those who have not had the pleasure of hearing a GS synth in person, they sound absolutely phenomenal, amongst the very best of the best. And as he rightly says, he has heard a lot of synths, and he has. This is why his name is Dr. Synth. So that, I don't know if you know Manny at all, Guido, but he is, he's forgotten more than most of us will ever know.
Yeah.
So, that's high praise, and I would take that and treasure that. Quote it even. Put it on your website. I don't think he'll mind.
He'll come and sort your teeth out as well if you want.
He's a fantastic
dentist,
orthodontist. He's a fantastic orthodontist. Looking forward to seeing him again at Superbooth. And you are definitely going to come to Superbooth in 26. Do you think you'll have something new to show us there?
I hope we have released the keyboard version of the Bri6 from that time, and we will try to have something new, but I cannot promise anything. Maybe if we have something new, it will be some prototype probably, but
we like prototypes.
That's how everything starts.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
So will you have a stand at Superbooth, or are you just going to be there as?
Probably a table at the tent, like last year.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Cool.
Or maybe inside. We haven't decided that yet.
Excellent. Well, we would definitely meet up next year.
Yeah,
we'll have some beer, and we'll have some food as well, and we'll talk and play with synthesizers. I'm really looking forward to it. Because when who was it that I was speaking to last year that said that you were coming? can't remember who it was now, and they said, "Oh yeah, I got very excited," and then of course things happened, and we couldn't do it because schedules and stuff. But so I'm very much looking forward to that. So we'll meet then. Great comment from our friend Tom at Synth Anatomy. Make more music, less hate. Couldn't agree more. Thank you very much indeed for that. Right, let's see what else have we got news-wise. I suppose we should mention this, because this has been on the cards for, I believe, nearly 5 years, and it's finally broken ground, and it's here. It's the Behringer SDS3, which of course is their take on the Simmons music aid, or should I say SDS3. It was Dave Simmons' first invention, first drum synthesizer. It's a 4-channel analog drum synth. It looks very similar to the original hardware. There's a great Alex Ball video if you want to learn about the original. But for around $250 you can have this recreation, and it does sound very nice. We did have a video clip, I think, somewhere. Let's have a listen to it.
It's the SDS3.
So there we go, SDS3. There's been a glut, I think, of analog drum synthesizers this year. We had the Amitech AR110. We've got the Osprey 8 that launched sort of in terms of prototype, and 1 or 2 units coming off the factory floor. But there's been lots of drum synthesizers rather than drum machines, which I think is great. And this is just another one of them. Of course, it comes in Behringer's desktop format, which of course you can then take the side cheeks off and stick it into your Eurorack unit, should you so wish. And it does pretty much everything that the original did. I always go to Andrew when we come to these kind of historic recreations, because he's old enough to remember the originals. Go on, you must tell me, you must have used one of these. The originals, anyway.
I used the SDS5. I'd never actually got to play with the SDS3. I hated the SDS5 because it was so unreliable. I've made this really apparent. There's been some great plugins come out, and recently a few analog drum machines from your good friend that you've been working with as well on one of these things as well. Therefore, I wanted to hate this because it's, a Behringer-y thing, and I shouldn't say that. I really shouldn't say that. And actually, I'm trying to up now. That. I've got to tell you, though, that this sounds better than the SDS5. I think they've really nailed this one. It's a great sound. They've got the impulse, the click for the hit and the tone exactly right. Not as good as, I think better than Simmons did originally. I think the controls and the LFOs they have are all musically very appropriate. I think this sounds stunning. I really do. Yeah. And I'm very tempted by this. I got to tell you, I'm very tempted by it. I think it's a really good thing.
Yeah, it's a simple thing, but it does sound very good, and it goes way beyond just kind of drum sounds. It's there's more going on there.
I think Jamie Morden's got it. I think Jamie got himself one.
Did he?
Yeah, I believe so. I think I seen him share something about it the other day.
Hopefully hear some from him. By the way, Jamie obviously is the gentleman behind GS. He's got some issues. He posted the other day that he's having some issues with his hand, which is kind of slowing things down for him. So if you're watching, Jamie, I hope you're well. All the best. Take it easy, and we look forward to having you back on the YouTube channel soon. So we're with you, mate.
Well soon.
Yeah, definitely. Guido, ever think about making a drum synthesizer? Is that something that might be on the GS Music catalogue sometime soon?
I thought about that, but I don't think about that as a priority right now.
Sure, but that'd be interesting.
Yeah. But I think we made some expertise in analog polyphonic synths, so I think it's better to explore that first
Yeah, absolutely.
before getting into drum machines or drum synthesizers.
Sure. Yeah. Cool. Excellent. Right, let's move on to the next piece of news. We have got quite a few things to go through. Apologies for not going in massively in depth on a lot of this. But there was one very interesting, very welcome piece of news this week coming from Arturia, who've just launched the Mark II Keystep. Now, of course, the Arturia Keystep was kind of a bit of a revolutionary thing when it came out almost a decade ago. That was when the first came out. And this is the first time they've actually taken to changing it up a little bit and making it a bit more usable, expanded. I was very lucky. I managed to, they sent me one a little while back and been playing around with it. It's got some great new features. For example, the mutate feature and the spice feature, which we originally saw on the Mini Freak, which are wonderful ways of just messing around with the arpeggiators in here. I always kind of disregarded the key steps and the beat steps because I figured they were probably more for people that were doing doorless kind of work, modular stuff. But actually, I was sat here with this plugged into the computer. And they've been using it with soft synths and indoors as well. I mean, it's just a lot of fun, and it's so simple to do stuff. So this is out now. It's 129 euros. You'll notice that there's the three knobs here, the direct access functions to like the arpeggiation, lengths and steps and what have you. They've all gone because everything is now done by a screen and a single non-sticky metal rotary control, so your knobs won't get sticky on this, as they say. But it's super fun and super easy, and it's very affordable. It's lightweight. The connections on the back, you've got MIDI, you've got USB-C, you've got sync in and out, and you've now got an extra mod socket on the CV outputs there, so that just expands it just a little bit further. There's not a lot that this won't work with. Anybody else got a Keystep or used one?
I've got the original one. Yeah, I've got the original Keystep, and that was, until this week, it was the main little keyboard that I just had sat in front of my screen just for any kind of editing work that I was doing. I've now replaced that with a Forum. It's a similar kind of size.
Yeah, it's not much.
But yeah, so that is an interesting one. Because the key steps are very, very good. The arpeggiator and the little sequencer and everything that was built in, even to the original one, was so easy to use. So especially for programming, I could then send it via Logic into whatever synth, even if it didn't have an arpeggiator, and create arpeggiation sounds and stuff just by using that, you know. Very useful little tool.
Yeah, I'd really disregarded them, and then I got the Keystep Pro a few months ago ahead of Bristronica because I knew we needed something for the stand. So I thought, well, I'll get a Keystep Pro. And when they sent me this, I thought, I'm not really going to like this because it's less than, shall we say.
Yeah.
Not the case. It's because it's so immediate and so easy to kind of mess around with. It's great fun. And it's got a lovely blue bass on it. Look at that, nice blue bass.
Oh, gotta love a blue bottom.
Love a blue bottom.
Gotta love a blue bottom.
Is this your sort of thing, Andrew, at all? Or?
Well, like you, I've kind of disregarded it. I couldn't quite see what it would give me, but I've been sitting here doing sound design for the last few months, and I've got my XL7 here, I've got the M8X here, I've got an X7 over here, I've got the Emu keyboard, which isn't doing anything at the moment, and I just need something else here. I stepped away from the Keystep because it didn't have aftertouch, but I think that's now been fixed, isn't it?
No, it's always had aftertouch.
Always had aftertouch.
Yeah. Oops,
That's me just being a total nonsense monkey.
Yeah.
I've a feeling this is something that may be sitting here very soon, because it looks like a good thing. What's mutate do?
What does what? Sorry, mutate.
Mutate.
So, I thought you said mutate. Mutate.
What's mutate do, mate?
So if you say, for example, you choose one of the arpeggiation modes, I always would like to start off with it used to be number 7 on the original, but you can go and you just press and hold mutate, and it changes the note orders randomly. It'll change things like note lengths and gate times. So it's just, you're just kind of messing around. So your arpeggio will still play with all the notes that you asked it to play, but the mutate feature just randomizes and messes things up a little bit, and you just keep pressing until you find something you really like, and away you go.
So it's like a cross between an arpeggiator and a sequencer in a way.
But it's got a sequencer as well, 64-step polyphonic sequencer in there.
That's Jake saying this one does strum, etc. as well.
Yeah, and you got the spice mode, which again spices the arpeggiations up in a very special little way.
Isn't Spice where Brummy astronauts go?
That's it. You can mess around with the gate as well with the bend strip. It's so immediate and so much fun. Guido,
I have 2 keysteps, the original version.
Yeah.
Because I like the fact that they are quite small.
Yeah.
I use them to test our synthesizers because they are very small. So I have some space in my desk to, if I want to try something with the oscilloscope, I have a lot of space to do that. Mm-hmm. And they have everything I need. They have velocity sensitivity, aftertouch, some CV outputs if I need them, MIDI outputs. And I think with the V6 you can have a very nice and portable setup.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. If anybody wants to see a really nice in-depth look at this, our friend Robin Vincent from Molten Modular did about an hour-long video on this, and it's very thorough. He's a massive Keystep fan. He uses one all the time, so he got one of these, and he goes really into it. And suffice to say, he likes it. But it's well worth watching and seeing what he thinks about it. So there you go. Arturia Keystep Mark II is available now. It's €129. It's got aftertouch. Hello, Yamaha. You leave aftertouch out of your £1,800 Modi XM synths, and yet Arturia have got it there in their £129 controller. Just saying. Anyway, there we go. Keystep Mark II available now. Let's see, what else have we got here? Oh yes, of course we've got this. I've got a video here, but I think it's like a stupidly long video. Let's just play a little bit of it. I'm not sure if I managed to edit this down.
I love it. It's amazing. I like how it feels like a movie kind of vibe. It feels like June. My name is Iona. I'm an artist, songwriter, and producer. Today I'm trying out new software from GeForce. It's called Map. Can't wait to try it.
I'm going to stop it there because actually GeForce took a little bit of flack for this because the trailer video didn't really show much of the synthesizer playing, which was a little bit of a misstep. But this is, of course, the new GeForce software Map synthesizer. Map is the word map, not an acronym for anything. Again, as some silly people on the internet have intimated, this is a brand new original synthesizer design from GeForce. It's their second. It comes hot on the heels of Halogen, which was their FM synth. This takes its inspiration, dare I say, I hate to use these phrases, but it takes its inspiration from the West Coast type of synthesis. So think of Surge, think of Buchla, all of that kind of stuff. Really what it's doing is it's taking some complex oscillators that do wave folding and frequency modulation and just go beyond the realms of a regular oscillator. and then sticking them through a whole bunch of filters, and you've got some envelope generators, 3 of them in fact, and 3 LFOs. You've got effects section called color, time and space. There's a very capable arpeggiator in there, which is capable of polyrhythms and all sorts of things, and a very kind of Pigments-esque looking modulation matrix. I'm not sure if I've got an image here that shows it in any great depth, but it does have a kind of pigmenty type interface to it. I'm talking about this modulation strip in the middle here, which if you expand gives you loads more. But what it does, and what I love about this, and I love about the Pigments as well, is it's a very visual feedback. I'm a very visual person. I respond better to the visual stuff, and it just gives you great feedback. It is very simply designed and simple to use, but the sounds that come out of this are incredibly good, and they do have this kind of, again, dare I say it, this West Coast kind of style. I just think it's great that GeForce are now, saying, okay, we can do Oberheims, and we do them officially. We do all of these wonderful replicas of vintage hardware stuff. Now they're doing their own thing, really kind of flexing their muscle, which I think is really, really good. Have you had a chance to listen to this one, Andrew, or did you buy it at all? Because it's still on offer at $49.99, so it's
I haven't bought it. I mean, it's. I did have a listen to it. It's really interesting. I like the fact that you can save presets for just the oscillators or just the synth. Just the filters as well. That's kind of an interesting way of going. That's very much down the West Coast way of doing things. I don't know if I will be buying this yet. I might buy it in the new year, because I've just got so much else that I've got to get my head round. But it does look. I really, really love the fact that they have gone for their own synth again, another, self-authored synth engine that's entirely their own, and I like the direction they've taken this.
Yeah.
So I'm almost certainly gonna be getting it. It does sound pretty good, and I'm quite interested in playing with the innards of it and trying all the different mods out, as it were.
Yeah. There you go, Scott. Mr. Hilton himself says it sounds very nice and has nice MPE implementation. So something to go nicely with. I was
just reading that on their site there, that it's got MPE support on it, so that's good.
Yeah.
That'll be my new toy.
There you go.
Well, I just got Pigments today, so I'll wait and learn that one as well.
Yeah. That's a beauty, that one is.
Yeah.
Guido, you mentioned that the next kind of project that you've got is using some frequency modulation and other things. Are you going down this route of more complex oscillators? Is that something that appeals to you in your synthesizer designs?
No, we will not be implementing more complex oscillators. We will still have the classic waveforms, but it will have you will be able to combine the different wave shapes. So you will be able to combine a triangle waveform with a pulse and a sub-oscillator, for example. We will be implementing more, actually 2 sub-oscillators waveform, square and triangle. So you will have a little more waveform options, but not more complex than that.
Sure. And I have to ask you this question. I mean, you're a hardware synthesizer designer and builder, but do you dabble with software synthesizers at all? Are they on your radar?
No. I do some programming because I program the firmware on the synthesizers.
Of course, yeah.
But I don't think we will be into software synthesizers.
Sure.
At least in the short term.
Yeah. Something for the future. We can think about that when you rule the world in analog synthesizers. Just got to post this comment up here. This got me here. Man with beard is to say, watching this show again with a fireworks display going on outside, because of course Here in the UK, it was what we call bonfire night on the 5th, but most people wait until the weekend to do it. So a lot of people are having fireworks parties. Watching the show again with a fireworks display going on outside and loads of Christmas adverts on TV has put me in the best mood of the year. Well, good. Well done. And I hope you are feeling better and refreshed. And I'm glad that we're playing a tiny part in that. So great to hear from you there. Also, got to give Scott a shout out. He's just donated £5, one per day for the full 5 days it will take for Kent's SST to optimise, which is why Kent's not here. Apparently, his new NAS drive is sucking up all of his bandwidth. And thank you very much indeed, Mr. Hilton, for your donation of $19.99. Thank you. All goes in the coffers, helps keep us on the air. We are super grateful for your support as always. Richard. Yeah, absolutely. Right, so that was GeForce Software's Map synthesizer. You can get a 7-day demo of it. So if you are teetering on the edge, you're not sure, go and try the demo. You will be sold on it. I'm pretty sure you will. Other software news, we won't dwell on this massively, but there's a new version of Cubase. Of course there is. It's that time of year again that they update and they charge you for it as well. This is Cubase 15 that has just come out with a bunch of some extra bits. There's the pattern sequencer editor in there. There's next-gen articulation. There's AI has been built into this at some degree. Lots of other new and exciting things in Cubase 15. I haven't updated yet because I'm not entirely sure I need to, because I only use Cubase periodically. But Andrew, you've bought it, haven't you?
I have, and there was a lot of talk about this. You don't have to pay for an update. You just don't update. And if you're happy with what you've got, that's fine. Exactly. But for me, with the amount of money that people, that this costs to update, it's kind of a no-brainer, putting aside all the additional new features they've got, and there are some significant ones. Just the new sound libraries they've got are astonishing. Yeah. And that's worth I think it's 83 quid. I don't pay the VAT on that, so it's 69 quid or something to me. And that's we pay that kind of money for a sound library every day of the week, and there's lots of sound libraries in this. So just for that, I'll be doing it. And it's got some improved audio functionality as well, which there's quite a bit in there. There's this melodic pattern sequencer. There's AI stem separation, expression maps improvements. There's a new hub, writing room synths are basically synth presets inspired by the songwriting rooms of the pros, whatever that might mean. Ultra Shaper EQ, new drum machine kits, pitch shifters, new sounds and loops. Native OS, Mac OS full screen support, which is nice. I kind of like that. Groove Agent SE6 update, DAW project for Elements, AI and LE, plugin scaling, lots of different things in there. And the upgrade price, certainly in the UK, is £83 coming from Cubase 14. It's £168 if you're coming from 12 or 13. So it kind of does pay to keep up with this, but it does feel like this time every year Cubase bring out an update, and you pay for it, and it just kind of feels like an annual subscription now, doesn't it? That you just kind of keep paying once a year. That's £6 a month. It will.
Yeah, it's not a huge amount, I grant you, but once you're on the train. But
here's the other thing about it. Like, in common with many other apps that are out there, both video editing and sound, DAWs, all of those kinds of things. What's tending to happen is more and more with new tech, they're bringing more of the features that you would tend to previously have gone to outside apps to do, like doing stem separation or doing separating out a track, maybe some of the compressors and things, bringing in third-party things. More and more of this is coming into the box, so you don't, once you've got it, you really don't have to go. So you may want to, you may have preferences, and that's fine, that's good, but they're making it more and more a complete package, and I've got to say, it is a good package. I used to use, I was using Sonar for a long time. For a long time, I was using Sonar in Paris and things like that. I've come back to it, and I've got to say, it's getting better. I wasn't that impressed to start off with, but it's getting better. And at this price, I'm really happy.
Yeah, Guido, do you use a digital audio workstation?
I used in the past. It's been a long time. Lately, I spend so much time making synthesizers that I don't even have time to play.
Oh, that's a shame. You should always make some time to play some music for sure. But no, I mean, if it means you carry on making the great synths that you're making, then just keep doing what you're doing. Let's very quickly touch on this, because this came out the other week, and it's quite a step up to think that this instrument started out as a small side project because the original couldn't be made anymore because of components not being available or being too expensive. So the inventor of that instrument created a new version with new components, did it as a side project, was so successful it's now gone into his company's main portfolio. I'm talking about, of course, the Sonicware ELZ1 Play, which is now at version 2.
The fusion of heritage and innovation. The pioneer of wavetable synthesis, Waldorf. Creating new ways to experience sound. Sonicware. 16 legendary wavetables from PPG and Microwave, now reborn in Sonicware's new engine. Tradition and innovation. Sounds that transcend time and break through genre. ELZ1 Play, version 2.
Kind of went on a little bit too long, that one, and I don't
I'm
want
not
to say
sure
because
about the voice at the start either.
So I've been accused myself of being an AI voice when I've done voiceover work. Somebody said that's a great AI voice or something. I'm not sure if that was AI, and if it wasn't, I apologise, but it did kind of sound like it. In a world, it was
In a world, duh.
yeah.
Just give me sound back. Duh.
Yeah, it's a brilliant thing. This I'm
It's
going
like the
away.
guy that used to do the Carlsberg adverts was.
Oh yeah,
Carlsberg.
yeah.
Carlsberg.
I am going away for a few days soon, and I'm thinking, what do I take with me just to kind of keep me, because it's a family thing, so I'm going to be bored, and I need something to keep me occupied. And I thought, maybe I'll just take my MacBook and the Keystep, or and then I thought, no, I've got this. And it's got 18 synth engines. It's got a sequencer built in. You've got a looper in there. You've got loads of effects, some new effects in there. Now you've got Waldorf wavetables, genuine Waldorf wavetables, as well as the ones that they put in as well. This is a stunningly good instrument. It's completely portable, battery powered. It's got speakers built in if you want to make use of that, or you can just plug your headphones in. And I hasten to say that it's actually all sold out at the moment. The first batch is already gone.
First batch
So
is gone.
there will be others because it's gone gangbusters for them. The original ELZ one was incredibly popular, but unfortunately couldn't be made again because of components. So they brought out, say, Dr. Endo, who's the guy behind it. There you go. Andrew's got the case. You're welcome. So yeah, Dr. Endo said, look, I'm going to try and build another one and improve it and use different things. And the first people that ordered this got those cases. I've got one over there somewhere, tucked on the shelf. But it is There it is. You can't really see it because it's all black. There was an all limited black version of this. Those keys are also velocity sensitive, by the way. So it really is a very cool thing to play. Lots and lots of fun. We loved it when it was the original. We love it even more now. That home screen, I don't know about you, Andrew, but for me, that new home screen where you can just twiddle through the presets and see exactly what you're doing. Because before it was a little bit,
I mean, I bought this because it had some great sounds, some really good sound engines. We loved that straight away, and at the price, we just went, wow, yeah, got to have that. And it was portable. That's why I bought it. It allowed me to go away, and whilst I was travelling, enter in sequences, do a bit of composition, do some looping. Great thing. With this update, it's not fixed exactly. It's added some bits that were missing. Where I was missing some sort of samples or choral stuff and strings and things. The Waldorf, just the Waldorf edition of the Waldorf wavetables, where you can isolate things or move between them, that has just added something completely new. And for me, the new interface and the way it's working means this is going to be doing a lot less travelling. It's going to have a permanent place here in the studio because it just sounds so good. It does things that nothing else does in quite the same way. It's a very, very cool instrument. If you can get one, when they bring out the next batch, just order one. You will thank me for it. You really will. It's a stunning piece of kit.
Yeah, very good. And just so you can see the wavetables that have been imported over from Waldorf. So you got 8 microwave wavetables brought over. There's 8 PPG wavetables. So if you want that really kind of genuine, gritty 80s wavetable sound, there's 8 of them there to play around with. They're lots of fun. And then there's, I think, 24 original wavetables brought in by Sonicware themselves. You can even import wavetable files from Serum. So if you're a Serum user, you can just drag and drop wavetables in there. It's an incredibly good thing. I was so glad they made it again when they did, and now they've updated the firmware and added this extra functionality, because I wasn't sure they were going to do that. We weren't sure that they were actually going to put this into main production. We thought it was just going to be one of these side projects that Endo did, and did it as a Kickstarter, I believe. And then it was so successful in such high demand that they put it into main production, and here we are. We've got the ELZ1 plate version.
And I think the really good thing, rather like Guido, the fact that they've put out new firmware with these new bits and pieces has made it like having a brand new instrument. It's like I bought it once, and now for free I'm getting a brand new instrument given to me. That's kind of what Guido's done with the firmware updates on the is it the ES7, and I'm sure for the Breeze 6. These kinds of firmware updates are just really, they're a gift. They're a gift. They make you value it even more. And by the way, Guido, we really appreciate people that do this. So massive thanks to you for all the work you're doing to update things.
Absolutely. It's always great to see a company that doesn't kind of forget their products, even if it's just like a little fix, just somebody found a bug and it's just a little thing. Who was I thinking of the other day that did that? There's a company that put some stuff out. I mean, even Kodamo. Every now and again they'll drop a little firmware update for the Essence FM. They don't forget about those things, and it just makes the ownership of those instruments a lot nicer. Oh, there you go. That's just had a firmware update, by the way, to 1.2.
Yeah, that's going in.
And some new sounds, by the way. If you are an owner, if you were one of those, God knows how many people.
Listen, if we're flexing here.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, you win.
I have to be careful what I pick up and show you, because some of this stuff you're not allowed to see. But anyway, no, I just love it when a company doesn't, because and Sonicware have done that before with their Liven range. They still update some of their Livens, the ones that go way back. So it's really good. You do.
I think what's really interesting about this particular update is by doing this firmware update, by making it possible first of all, and then by doing it, they have got another lease of life on what was an instrument that's probably most people would have just thought, well, that's gone. It's now become a new instrument again, and it's the same hardware, the same, for those that already have it. Those kinds of things, that's really smart, and I've got to take my hat off to Dr. Uendo and the team for doing that. It's really, really good.
They're a great thing. And in fact, I need to speak to Takahiro and Dr. Endo about our stand at Synth East next year in February in Norwich. I'm thinking maybe we do something in conjunction with Sonicware, because we can build... I've got this idea of a Sonicware orchestra of all their different things, and seeing if we can do something
Are we going to do
that.
something like that down at Synth Southwest in Dawlish?
No, because we're going to be too bogged down with like running the thing. So we won't have. We might have a little table somewhere with merch.
I'll bring all of
on.
my bits and pieces down.
We've got to see if we see how much space we've got. I'd rather give other companies the space to come and develop, but we'll see. And hopefully we'll have tickets on sale soon for Synth Southwest next year.
Be good to get one of Guido's synths down there as well.
We could do, yeah. Talking of synthesizer shows, and particularly Synth East, the guy behind Synth East, Robin Vincent, who's our good friend, is doing another one of his synth picnics tomorrow in the Castle Mall in Norwich, where you can go along and borrow, for a small fee, Eurorack. You can borrow hardware synthesizers like Modal's Cobalt 8. There's a Mini Freak there as well, a few other bits and bobs. You can like rent the synthesizers for a short period of time and then take them back. It's a brilliant idea. It's kind of like a synthesizer lending library. So he's doing that in conjunction with Signal Sounds, I believe. And that's it in the Castle Mall in Norwich. So if you're this way in the UK, go and see Robin. I'd love to go, but I've got I'm going to see Trevor Horn tomorrow, doing one of his little book tours. So I'm otherwise engaged. But yeah, it's a good event to go to. Right, we've got about 7 or 8 minutes left. I think we've got 1 or 2 things we haven't spoken about, so we'll just speak about them very quickly now. I haven't had a chance to really sort of dig into this and play around with it, but Synapse Audio last week released an instrument called the Proxima, which is essentially a sequential Prophet 600 in software. I do believe I might even have a little clip for you to listen to. So we'll cut that there because it goes on for about 5 minutes, that video, but it does sound very impressive. It's called Proxima and it's from Synapse Audio. It's based on what they call a unique analog synth from 82, but that is the Prophet 600. Signature Curtis analog chips is what the original used, of course, because you can't do that in software. And it's available as a plug-in with MPE, and also operates using the native control standard as well. It's got a powerful arpeggiator and sequencer, lots of effects in there as well. According to them, accurate circuit simulation. I don't think we've seen a Prophet 600 plugin. Has there been one before?
No,
I'm sure somebody in the chat
no.
will probably know of someone who did one. I'm just trying to think if Full Bucket Music did one, or was that? Am I thinking of the sequential something else that they did? I don't know, but it's not one that's kind of been covered that much. I was just trying to remember. That's it. I've got the Legend. That's the one I've got. I knew I'd got something by Synapse. And an Obsession, apparently.
But I've not heard. The Legend Hans Zimmer is
the Hans Zimmer one, yeah. And I remember Obsession is a very popular Oberheim clone. But yeah, this is quite interesting. Any thoughts on this? Anyone just want to throw their hat in the ring?
It's a very nice sounding synth.
Yeah.
It sounds very rich and deep. It's a crowded field now, but it's nice that they've done it. It doesn't seem to be madly expensive compared to some of the others. How much is it? I'm just having a look now.
Yeah, because the Prophet 600 did kind of get overlooked, as Mike says in the chat.
€139. That's
yeah.
Given what's out there, that's a lot of money.
Yeah,
that's a lot of money.
but Synapse are very good at what they do, so it's quality. I mean, if you're not sure, there are demo versions available, so you can try that before you buy. But yeah, thought I'd give that a little mention because we missed it last week because of we had Dan on the show, so we had lots to talk about. But yeah, that's an interesting addition to the oeuvre that we have. I'm just having a look to see if we've got anything else. We didn't give this a mention last week, and I'd like to. I want to do this more justice because this looks very interesting from Whimsical Raps. This is the Atrium. It's an analog synthesizer with loads of just like really different ways of interacting with it. I kind of like this, but I kind of get the impression this is something that is best understood hands-on. Rather than just sort of listening to some demos, which of course there are a number of. But it's just, I do like it when people come out with unique interfaces and different ways of doing things, because it does drive more creativity and originality. Guido, have you ever considered doing a synthesizer with, shall we say, an alternative kind of interface rather than a traditional kind of keyboard interface? Has that ever interested you at all?
Yes, but I think it's kind of a risky move because people might love it or hate it.
Yeah.
I might come with something different in terms of the modulation matrix for next synth.
Okay,
that's all I can say for now.
No, that's good. No, it's interesting. Yeah,
but they are still buttons and knobs. But I still didn't implement anything like other than that: knobs, buttons, screens, encoders.
Yeah. When it comes to programming sounds for synthesizers, Scott, most traditional synthesizers will have, velocity. Most of them, Yamaha, will have aftertouch. Some, like ASM, put in a ribbon, and same with Arturia. And of course, Arturia have their full touch as well as the MPE stuff. When it comes to programming sounds, I mean, if you look at something like this that's got a really unique interface, does this like really make you think, oh yeah, I'd love to get my hands on one of these and do some cool stuff? Yeah,
and it's the same. As soon as I touched this Osmos, I thought, oh wow, if I can get into some of this MPE. So I think even with hardware, Guido, I know you have already got MPE built into there, but you can take that even further and allow, like in mod matrices and things like that, matrices, that you can allow basically more control from certain options that you've got in the MPE. Steve Elbows has been discussing it at length with me this week, which is fantastic because he's got so much knowledge as far as the MPE side of things go. But yeah, anything that's got extra sort of control without having to use external controllers, I love.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you can do it all with your fingers, it just makes everything so much more musical.
Yeah.
I think what's interesting about this, I mean, we will go into it, I'm sure in more depth, but what's interesting about this is it's coming from the space of, rather than programming a sound, then playing it and articulating it, it's starting with the premise that everything is the articulation. Everything is the performance. That's fascinating. I think for all of us, including you, Guido, I'm sure you'd say that articulation, the way you perform, how you perform something, how you're able to perform, is key. This thing looks, I'm not sure if this will do well, but I'm really glad it exists and it's out there, and I'd like to have a look at it, play with it.
Yeah, for sure. Well, gentlemen, we have reached the top of the second hour. It's time to say goodbye.
Wow, that's
run
quickly.
Completely. Yeah, it has. Let me just remind everyone that our guest today has been Gido Salaya of GS Music. He is the G and the S in his synthesizer brand. And of course, you can go and check out all of his wares. There we go. There's one on screen there. Look at that. That's the Bree 6.
Bree 6.
Indeed.
You too could have one of these.
Yes,
Bree
absolutely.
6.
The website is gsmusic.com. Go and check them out. There's some really great videos out there. I like the one that Ernesto Romeo does. Some really nice stuff to listen to there. It's a stonking synthesizer. The
I quite need one
the
of these
E7
in my life. Yeah, I really do.
Definitely. But go and check that out. Guido, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you on. Thank you so much. Oh, there you go. He's still showing off there. It's been an absolute pleasure. We shan't keep you any longer because we know that you've got more synthesizers to design and build, and we can't wait to hear those.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for coming on, and I very much look forward to seeing you in Berlin next year.
Sure. Well, thank you very much for inviting me to the show.
You're more than welcome. Come back anytime
I
you like.
have one more
go on
question before Guido goes.
Go on.
The feather in your logos, is it a feather?
I was going to ask that. Yeah.
Is it?
It's not a feather. It's a palm leaf.
Palm leaf.
Palm leaf. Is there a story behind that, or is it just a design choice?
Yes, there's a story. There's a story.
But you can't share it.
Yeah, I can, but I will leave that to
another time.
We meet in Berlin.
Okay.
I've got one question, one really quick question. When you're building the new synth, are you going to put something on like a bladder, a balloon, so that you have a controller that goes, That's what I want. That's what I most want.
And on that note,
what?
And on that note,
it's a good idea.
Yeah, very.
It's a good idea.
You're being very polite there.
Very polite.
Yeah. Kissing the Machine, thank you very much indeed for your donation. I assume you'll be in Norwich with Robin again tomorrow, so have great fun. Great show and great guest. Thanks, Guido. So there we go. That's from our friend Sean, Kissing the Machine. And to everybody that's been watching today, thank you so much for joining us. I hope we've got your weekend off to a great start with some interesting discussions, some news topics. We will be back same time, same place next week. I don't think we've got a guest lined up, so it'll just be the usual panel discussing the synthesizers. Well, we could, but he's a busy man. But we'll get some more interesting people on before the year is out, I am sure. We've got to think about our Christmas shows and the New Year's shows, and of course, let me remind you one more time. Because we had a bit of a rush on them last year, and I wasn't sure. I think most people got them. The Christmas jumpers that we're doing, the sweaters that we're doing, the ProSynth Network. It's a new design, and you've got to get your orders in time. So you've only got like a couple of weeks to make sure you get those delivered before Christmas. So if you're going to be buying one for your loved one, or maybe you want your loved one to buy one for you, then go to the merch store, look for the Christmas jumper, and get that order in as soon as possible. But anyway, thank you everyone for watching. We will say we'll be back same time, same place next week with the regular panel. And have a fantastic weekend. Don't forget, there's loads of people on YouTube doing great synthesizer-based shows. Hopefully, Andy Synchrotron is doing his tomorrow morning. I know he took a week off last week. Sorry. And there's lots of other shows for you to go and check out. You all know where they are, so please do and give them all the support that you can. And we will see you in 7 days' time. Take care, everyone. Thanks again, Guido. Take care. See you all soon.
Bye.
Bye.